So yeah, man, we're back, man.
We're back.
Greg's being B-roll Greg right now, but we're back with a guest. Yeah, Dom here.
Yes, I'm here.
He's gonna go by. I'm not gonna put out the full government because Baltimore. But yeah, Dom, could you introduce yourself? What your background is in terms of your artist, rugby player? Is it called the field or the pitch in rugby?
On pitch.
So
mostly.
You're knocking people around the pitch.
I'm trying to. That's a goal.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I like seeing people get knocked around.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of
That's
fun.
a good thing to pay for.
So one of the reasons I invited you here because I kind of peeped you on IG and I saw the artwork and I really dug the artwork and I said, okay, I should have you for an interview eventually. So have those customary arty questions of all right, starting off, what does your process include in figuring out what is of interest? What is your messaging when it comes to what you want to paint, what you want to sculpt, or is painting your only medium?
Pretty much painting is my only medium, but I am starting to delve into sculpture a bit too. So a lot of my work, the majority of my work is really self-reflective. I am of mixed race, and I grew up in rural Vermont, which is the second whitest state in the country. So it was very.
Need to catch up.
Exactly.
Come on, white people, make some more people.
Exactly. So it was really, it was very difficult growing up, and I was literally the only person of color in my high school, and I was growing up with my white mother and her family, so it was a very difficult time. So a lot of my paintings is kind of going back into my history and kind of discussing what it was like to be a child that is of color in a very white-dominated environment.
In that, do you feel, or have you experienced, is one of the things that we had early on, maybe earlier on 2 episodes ago, in the first episode, we were saying yeah, man, and even in our own demographics, you're not mixed, are you, Greg? I don't know, because you're very...
I'm black.
All right, just make sure.
Just on the lighter color spectrum.
Just checking in for the check-in.
Just black.
But we kind of heard this thing from other black people of you sound white. You're this, you're that, and trying to strip your identity from you, your blackness, or whatever from you. Can you speak to any experiences you had around that, or have you had those experiences?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I always have talked a certain way, and I guess it's not really what people expect me to sound like. I'm just, I guess, articulate and eloquent, and I guess black people cannot talk like that at all.
Gotta put some more jive in it.
Right?
Yeah, do that scene from Airplane.
Well, my father, both parents are in the military, and my father was deployed all the time, so I did not grow up with him around, but whenever I did talk to him, on the phone or anything, he always corrected how I spoke, so I could not say yep or anything like that. He wanted it to be very articulate, and as I got older, he kind of explained that he didn't want the white people around me to judge me because of how I talked. So he wanted me to be very articulate, but in a way they still judged me because I wasn't talking in the stereotypical way that they expected me to.
That's something that I would get on occasion. It's one or two things. One, if I do talk, because I'm kind of silent in the corner kind of type.
Yeah.
It's
that's not a good
in the corner working because I'm very
working.
Yes.
You're not the one in the corner just staring at people off
I am actually just looking over my cubicle I don't like no, but it's usually the you have a radio voice or wow you speak so in a very Colin Powell kind of way, you speak so well. It's isn't that from like a Chris Rock bit, isn't that old? And it's just you'll get it from all sides, and you don't hear that. You don't hear someone that's speaking Spanish talking to someone else that's speaking Spanish. Yeah, your Spanish is really good. Mm-hmm. It's I speak Spanish. I don't know
exactly.
what you want.
Nothing more to it.
I speak English. What do you want? The Queen's English? You touched on it a bit. What other themes would you say are in your work?
Other themes, connection to nature is a very prominent part of my work because just like the actual environment that I grew up in was very important to me, and it was a form of like comfort for me because if I went into the woods, like no one could judge me at all. Like race didn't exist when I was in nature, so it really developed into almost a spiritual thing. So that's why whenever I do like landscapes or natural environments, everything is very saturated in natural colors. So I'm trying to like show that it's almost like a spiritual divine environment. I don't believe in failed art.
Well,
I'll say this. I enjoy it.
you'll say this. I'll destroy my phone.
As I destroyed my phone. But I did drawing for a while. When I was very young, like as a kid. Then I applied for art school, middle school. I got completely rejected. Lost all my confidence and stopped drawing after that. So that was me.
Have you ever thought about taking
I do it from time to time, just like sketching. And it's not like, oh, I need to try to put my passion into it. More so, I'm a buyer of work than I am a drawer. Is it hard, like, do you like prefer selling through an exhibit or do you prefer selling through a store?
I don't really think I have a preference, really. I guess more directly to the customer, so maybe online just because I love that interaction.
Well, outside of, as I touched on earlier, outside of
I haven't gotten really the chance to explore Baltimore, unfortunately, just because grad school is insanely demanding. But I'm really hoping to explore the city more because I've never lived in the city, and I think it's a beautiful environment.
It's frustrating. It's frustrating because I do my own self-paying for it. So I'm only doing like one class a semester. So it's kind of like I'm picking teeth trying to do 10 classes within a span of 3 years. So that's where I'm at.
Okay, so we have listeners here, obviously.
You can find my art at my website, which is DominiqueButlerArt.com, or my Instagram, which is _Dom_Butler.
Gotta throw that in there.
Yeah.
It's good art, man.
Thanks.
I kind of have the same similar story to Greg. Someone told me you suck when it comes to drawing and stuff, but I'd also been doing painting and stuff. So there's something back in the day all right, sketching is something that's like always kind of transient. I like to do this meeting is boring. Here's this sketch. That's fun. I think my new had the just some sketch I was doing one day. And it's just like, all right, it's still there. It's not just gone. Right. Allow someone to
Right.
and that's just cross the board. So I think that's the one thing for me. If you were to get something that's solid and inspired
I would say just keep believing in yourself. Like it's very. Well, that's the whole thing. Like, I'm also getting a certificate to be a professor at school too, because I really want to work with younger generations, specifically children of color, are interested in arts to like continue working like that, because I really want to prevent like in your guys' situations, people told you suck and then you just gave up. Like you can't just give up. Like
11-year-old me.
if like you enjoy doing this, you shouldn't let anyone like deprive you of that. So I really want to like work with people to like encourage them to just keep going.
Either the opportunity or they were just free enough to know you just get back on the horse. And keep
Right,
going.
exactly.
And then you have the kids in urban areas who are told, nah, this ain't gonna work. This is weird, you know, stuff like that. So it's good
Afro
to
from him.
get Afro. Just hear stuff like that. Just hear people say, you know, this seems like it's something that everybody needs to hear, because regardless of race, color, or anything like that, you know, we all have that moment where giving up sounds like it sounds easier than keep going through it and going through some setback. Whoa!
I don't think it's that bad.
Whoa! No, I never said give up on life.
No.
Give up on something that's life. Art is life. I believe that. I believe the best art is the art.
Slide you in that direction, sir.
You know, I believe the best art is the art that comes from a reflection of how you feel. And that's where the best art comes from.
Well, I like to think, yes.
Thank you for asking.
The kind of hot seat. The last
2 bits.
yeah, last 2 cents. I think it's fun. And they brought me many seconds of joy.
Growing up. Many seconds away.
I think cumulatively only like 35 seconds maybe.
Look,
These are bit roles in these movies, dude. You've seen RoboCop 2.
I have.
Everybody's uncle is in that movie.
I was in that movie. I wasn't even born yet.
Were you doing the nuke and shit, just popping it?
Like, hey, RoboCop, what's up, my man?
Hey, cops, huh?
Like the dude at the hot dog stand, right?
Mhm.
That's one of the clips. The dude at the hot dog stand, he's 10 on 10. And then the other clip is from Ghostbusters 2.
Hey, cops, huh? Cops! Hey, carrying no picket signs. They're going to kick somebody's ass.
That's what we're supposed to sound like.
Hey!
We're supposed to sound like that dude.
Yeah.
Gotta kick somebody's ass. You gotta do like bug eyes with it, because you know it's 1931. And we're
Big lips. I am so sorry for you.
Hey, you guys got another one of those proton packs? My kid brother really wants one.
The proton pack is not a toy.
I guess it's right.
it's that thing where he's on there and it's just like, yeah, brother, you don't know nothing about this science. You need to be a doorman. It's just like this fucking Bobby Brown. You know R&B. Well, in what 87 I think, or 89.
Greatest quote I ever heard. Name an artist that name ends with last name with Brown that didn't hit a female.
Jesus. You got James in there somewhere. You got Chris in there.
You got Chris, you got James.
It's a lot of
Name one.
that's poor course, sir.
Name one. You can't.
I mean, even Travis Brown is in there in MMA.
Yeah.
You want to hit us with the sign off before we wrap up, sir?
We gotta wrap off on a dark
Yeah,
note.
we do, because you're a horrible person. You're a horrible
That's a
light skin.
horrible way to.
Yeah. We were trying to make this all like, you know, expose Brick John Legend and shit. You want to like fucking musical abuse.
VH1 behind the music.
What's your sign off, man?
You know how we all have a very certain favorite project in mind. What's your favorite rap project? Most Def? You know, we
Light
can
as a
always-
feather when I'm floating through, reading through the daily news, measuring the hurt within the golden rule. Centimeters of ether, I'm heating the speaker. Motivation